Either Bitcoin is headed down into a bear market, or we are about to go a little bit lower down to the 98K region before seeing our last leg of this bull market. Those are the two predictions that I am seeing time and time again across all of my social media feeds. In today's video, I'll be telling you exactly what I personally think could be happening, and it's neither of those scenarios. If you enjoy the content, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe. Without further ado, let's jump right into the video. So yesterday in my free premium group, you can see that we actually opened up a Bitcoin long trade. Now this was a little scalp, but we managed to essentially catch this extremely low wick here, and right now that position is sitting over $8,000 in profit, and we secured about $1,000 already. So what is next for Bitcoin? Because I have been pretty vocal on the channel saying that I do not think that the bear market is here. Now, there's a lot of predictions, as I touched on in the intro. Most seasoned traders are expecting us to move down to the 98K region before getting a significant bounce for the last leg of this bull market cycle. But we also have a lot of vocal bears at this point in time already calling for the bear market to begin, and every single pump you should be shorting. Neither of these scenarios are currently my base case, and here is why. As I've been covering on the channel over the past few days when everyone has been freaking out with this volatility, we are still in the process of trying to form another higher low. And you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Here on the Bitcoin chart, we had this liquidation event, then we dropped lower to fill the wick as we anticipated. And right now we are trying to build out that base before potentially moving higher, much higher that is. Look, we got rejected from the anchored VWAP as we covered in yesterday's video. However, Bitcoin at this current point in time is still trying to hold 107.2K as support. And the reason why this is so significant in my opinion is because 107K was the springboard that allowed us to make brand new all-time highs. As you can see here on the Bitcoin chart, if I draw a path, as soon as we tapped into this level multiple times, we ended up getting a nice pump to this area here, which was a crucial zone 117, came back down, held on to the bull market support band, and then we got a massive pump to new all-time highs, $126,000 that is. Now, what is happening in real time here? Because Bitcoin continues to print higher lows, and I'm not seeing many people talk about this. I have personally been very vocal about Ethereum making a brand new all-time high, but I also think that this will be the case for Bitcoin. A lot of people, in my opinion, will be getting left behind, and I know it's scary. With this kind of price action, you think that we could dump at any moment, and the truth is that is a possibility. However, if we were to dump, I would actually be looking at this cluster over here below 103.5 down to that liquidation wick for strong support. That being said, if everyone is expecting this, if everyone is expecting for us to tap into this crucial 98K level, will we actually tap into that level? You have to ask yourself that. I have been caught off guard by this before, and let me just give you an example. Right here on this Bitcoin move, as I said, we held on to 107K as support, we got a pump, we came back down. On this move down, myself and many other respected traders in the industry were expecting us to grab a lot of liquidity below $107,000 before we make that all-time high. And what happened? We essentially just consolidated right at 108. We didn't even tap into this low, and then we went ahead and moved higher. You can see here that we are still at that pivotal point. If we continue to hold 107.2K as support, my base case is actually that we will have another attempt to break past our key confluence zone. And if you're new to the channel, this is the zone over here, $112,000, because it coincides with one of the previous all-time highs that we set at the beginning of this year. It also coincides with the middle of the bull market support band, and it also would allow us to surpass the value area low, which is this yellow line on the chart. So based on this current price action, I still think it's likely that we get another test of this region. And if we can confirm above it and we hold above this bull market support band, at that point in time, we have to start talking about brand new all-time highs faster than most people are willing to admit. Now, here's the thing. Until this structure is broken, I see no reason for us to get max bearish. And as a matter of fact, if the structure breaks, I would still be looking for longs in this market, as I believe that the bull market is not over. I need to keep reiterating that. And you can see this based on my trades. I have my Bitcoin position open. I also have my Bitcoin dominance position open. All of these positions are on Bluffin, and they actually happen to have a fantastic promotion that just came out today before I recorded my video. You can see here that you can get up to 15% bonus cash back if you sign up with Bluffin and you start trading with me. This is up to $3,000, and it's limited to the first 50 users that go ahead and sign up and start trading. This means that you can deposit and you can get up to $3,000 completely for free for trading. And any profits that you make with that money, you get to withdraw if that's what you want to do with those profits, of course. That is the second link in my description down below if that interests you. I also have been playing around with BTCC. I've been trading on there for quite some time, but I haven't really been promoting it on the channel. But this is actually one of my favorite exchanges to also start trading other assets, such as stocks, such as gold. You can see here that I'm actually in a gold position, and we are currently sitting just over $1,500 in profit. You can actually go long on gold with leverage on BTCC. You can also trade Apple, Amazon, Coinbase, Google, all of the regular stocks that you would normally trade. You can do so on BTCC as well as crypto. They also happen to be one of the crypto exchanges that allow most users across the world to be using it simply with an email and a password. Enough of the shilling. Now let's get back to the charts. You can see here that right now we continue to try to hold 107.2K as support. I've been pretty vocal about these higher lows in progress, and I think that we're starting to see it play out right in front of our eyes. Remember, wicks are fine. If we start wicking below, that is okay. But as long as we continue to hold above this region, I see no reason to be max bearish here. As I said, most traders are either anticipating a tap into the 98K level, liquidating all of the longs, and then we move higher, or that the bear market has already started. I am of the opinion that we still have one last leg, and that there is a strong chance here that we don't tap into that 98K level. As I always say, no one has a crystal ball, but that's currently my base case. And I also wanted to show you the stock market. You can see here that the S&P 500 did get a little bit of a red candle yesterday. And so this was interesting to see that Bitcoin didn't react that negatively to that red candle. Typically, over the past few months, we've been seeing that whenever the S&P 500 gets a sharp sell-off, that is when Bitcoin sells off even more. And so to me, these are positive early signs. I also want to take a look at Ethereum. What is happening? Same exact scenario as Bitcoin. We have that low, then we have another low, and right now we're trying to build out that base for another higher low. Look, with these patterns, you need to understand that, of course, we can spend time at the lows, but sometimes they go ahead and take off much faster than you can ever imagine. And right now, taking a look at this chart, what do you notice for Ethereum? We continue to try to hold the bull market support band. And if Bitcoin is able to reclaim its own bull market support band, this key confluence zone that we've been discussing, at that point in time, I think that Ethereum will absolutely soar to brand new all-time highs. I know some of you are not used to me being bullish, but typically when the timeline is bearish, that is when I go ahead and flip bullish. Can we revisit lower levels? Of course, that's a possibility. But overall, I am still looking for longs in this market. Speaking of which, if you want access to all of my trade setups, you do have that first link in my description down below. These are my own personal trades. You DM me the word premium on Telegram, and I would be happy to onboard you. All you have to do is click this link, and you'll be well on your way to joining my free premium group. The only requirement is that you sign up with one of my affiliate exchange links, and we talked about those exchanges. The link's in the description down below. Trade on there as you normally would. Now, what else is there to go over? You can see that on the 48-hour time frame, we still have a lot of liquidity built up above these highs at around $114,000. Now, this doesn't mean that we're just going to immediately pump. In fact, there could still be a lot more chopping around. But so long as Bitcoin continues to hold this higher low structure, I ultimately think that things are looking quite positive. And speaking of liquidity, as we normally do, going over the Bitcoin exchange liquidation map, you can still see that on the 30-day time frame, there is way more cumulative short liquidation leverage in the market compared to cumulative long liquidation leverage in the market. And we also got a very healthy flush in open interest, a massive dump here. Even after the liquidation event, open interest has continued to trend down. This is ultimately what you want to see. And in the meantime, we did see a little bit of a sell-off yesterday for the Bitcoin spot ETFs, about 100 million worth of outflows. Not that concerning, but I have to bring this to your attention. Despite all of the mayhem, the pumps, the dumps, October is literally only down less than 4% for Bitcoin. 3.76%. Is there a chance here that we go ahead and close the month green? I'd like to say yes. Let's see how this plays out. You know my levels. I've been talking about it time and time again. If we continue to make these higher lows, in my opinion, there is no reason to be bearish. And I think that most traders, like we were expecting, a move down below $108,000 to grab liquidity before the all-time high, same thing could be happening here. If we don't move lower from here and we start moving up, a lot of people will be left behind. That is, of course, my own personal opinion, not financial advice, but you know exactly how I am operating in this market. If we end up moving lower, I will simply reassess, but ultimately, I am looking for longs in this market for the last leg of this bull market cycle. And that sums up today's quick video. Technically speaking, Bitcoin continues to print higher lows. And if we continue to bounce from here and there is no confirmed breakdown, in my opinion, there would be no reason to be bearish. If you enjoy the content, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video.